The subway station smelled like rain and too many people. Adwots gripped her white cane tighter, counting steps the way she always did. 32 from the platform edge to the stairs, 25 up, 15 across the landing. She had this route memorized. Every crack in the tile, every turn, every sound. Seoul Station at 4:30 in the afternoon was chaos, but it was familiar chaos. Someone bumped her shoulder, hard. Her cane clattered to the ground. The folder tucked under her arm flew open, sheet music scattering across the floor like white birds. "Are you serious?" Adwoa said in Korean, her accent thick, but her irritation clear. She dropped to her knees, patting the ground for her cane. "Could you at least say excuse me?" Silence. The kind of silence that felt wrong, too heavy, too complete. She found her cane and stood up, brushing off her dress. "Hello? I know you can hear me." Still nothing. Then footsteps, multiple pairs, moving closer. Leather shoes on tile. Expensive ones, from the sound. "Miss," a man's voice said. Not the person who bumped her, someone else. "You should apologize." Adwoa laughed, actually laughed. "I should apologize? Your friend knocked into me. You don't understand the situation." "I understand I'm late for work, and my sheet music is all over your floor." She knelt again, sweeping her hand in arcs. Her fingers found paper. She grabbed it. "Let me help," another voice said. Closer, different from the others. This one was quiet, calm, the kind of voice that didn't need to be loud. "I don't need help from someone who can't watch where he's walking," Adwoa said. Someone gasped, actually gasped. What was wrong with these people? "Her," the quiet voice said. Just that. One word. The air changed. Adwoa couldn't see faces, but she felt every person around her go rigid, like someone had pressed pause on the entire station. "Sir," one of the other men said. "Her," the quiet voice repeated. Footsteps retreated, fast, multiple pairs. Then the sound of hands gathering paper, and someone placed her sheet music in a neat stack on top of her folder. "You dropped these," the quiet voice said. Adwoa took them. "Thank you. You're welcome." Then he was gone. Just like that. The crowd noise returned. People moving again. The spell broken. Her phone buzzed. She pulled it out, touching the screen until her accessibility reader spoke. Text message from Yuna. "Where are you? Class starts in 10 minutes. Adwoa swore under her breath in Twaya and headed for the stairs. She had no idea that her entire life had just changed. The next morning started normal. Coffee that was too hot, toast that was too cold, her neighbor Mrs. Kim asking if she needed anything from the store. "I'm fine, thank you," Adwoa said, locking her apartment door. "You work too hard," Mrs. Kim said. "Young woman like you should have a boyfriend, not just piano students." "Mrs. Kim, we have this conversation every Wednesday." "Because every Wednesday you still don't have a boyfriend." Adwoa smiled despite herself. "Have a good day, Mrs. Kim." The walk to Grace Note Music Academy took exactly 18 minutes. Adwoa had timed it down to the second. She knew every curb, every crosswalk signal, every shop she passed by smell alone. The bakery that opened at 6, the flower shop that always had roses out front, the coffee place where they burned the beans. Home. She'd been in Seoul for 3 years now, teaching piano to children whose parents had more money than patience. It wasn't the life she'd planned, but it was hers. The accident had stolen her sight. It hadn't stolen her music. She pushed open the academy door, the bell chiming. "Adwoa." Yuna's voice, bright and caffeinated. "You have to see this." Yuna. "Oh my God, I'm sorry. I didn't mean, there's an envelope for you, and it's fancy, and I think something big is happening." Adwoa set down her bag. "What kind of envelope?" "The kind that comes in a box. Envelopes don't come in boxes." This one did. Yuna pressed something into her hands. Heavy paper, embossed. "It's from the Sejong Cultural Foundation." Adwoa's heart jumped. The Sejong Foundation didn't send letters to people like her. They funded concert halls and famous musicians, and people who hadn't lost everything. "Open it," Yuna said. Adwa's fingers found the seal. She broke it, unfolded the letter, handed it to Yuna. Read it. Dear Miss Nyamekye, we are pleased to inform you that you have been selected for the Emerging Artist Sponsorship Program. This includes funding for— Oh my God. Adwoa, this is $50,000. The room tilted. There has to be a mistake, Adwoa said. It has your name, your address, everything. Yuna grabbed her shoulders. This is real. This is happening. But Adwoa's stomach twisted. Nothing in life was free. Nothing this big came without strings. Did I apply for this? She asked. I don't know. Did you? No. Silence. Maybe someone nominated you, Yuna said, but her voice had doubt in it now too. Adwoa took the letter back, folding it carefully. I need to make a call. She spent her lunch break on hold with the Sejong Foundation. 45 minutes of classical music, interrupted by a recording, telling her how important her call was. Finally, a human. Sejong Cultural Foundation. This is Hannah speaking. Hi, yes. I received a letter about a sponsorship and I didn't apply, Adwoa said. Your name? Adwoa Nyamekye. Typing sounds. Yes, Miss Nyamekye. The sponsorship was arranged by a private donor who requested anonymity. Can you tell me anything about them? I'm afraid not. The donation was quite generous, though. You're very fortunate. Fortunate. Right. Hey, before we continue, if you're enjoying this story, tap that subscribe button so you don't miss what happens next. Trust me, you'll want to see where this goes. Adwoa hung up and sat in the break room, the letter still in her hands. Someone was helping her. Someone with money. Someone who knew who she was. She didn't like it. The afternoon classes blurred together. 5-year-old Sarah, who couldn't find middle C. 8-year-old James, who played like he was angry at the piano. 12-year-old Min, who actually had talent but hated practicing. Normal, familiar, safe. Then at 4 o'clock, Yuna knocked on the practice room door. Adwoa, there's someone here to see you. I don't have any more students today. It's not a student. Yuna's voice had gone strange, tight. It's, I think you should come out here. Adwoa saved her sheet music and stood, cane in hand. She walked to the lobby, counting steps, and stopped when the air changed. Someone was there. Someone who took up space the way tall people did. Someone who made Yuna nervous, which took effort, because Yuna wasn't nervous about anything. Miss Nyamekye, a man's voice said. Not the quiet one from yesterday. This one was clipped. Professional. My employer would like to speak with you. About? A business matter. I teach piano to children. I don't have business matters. Nevertheless. Adwoa crossed her arms. Tell your employer that if he wants to talk to me, he can come himself. Pause. He's in the car, the man said. Then he can stay in the car. Another pause, longer this time. Then footsteps retreating. A door opening. Voices, too low to hear clearly. The door again. New footsteps, slower, deliberate. The air changed again, different from the first man. This person moved like water, smooth, controlled. Miss Nyamekye, the quiet voice from yesterday. We meet again. Adwoa's grip tightened on her cane. The subway. Yes. You're the one who sent the letter. I am. Why? Because I wanted to help. You don't know me. I know enough. Adwoa felt heat rise in her chest. Anger, clean and bright. Let me be very clear. I don't need charity. I work for what I have. Whatever game you're playing, I'm not interested. It's not a game. Then what is it? An investment. In what? Your future. Adwoa laughed, sharp and bitter. My future is fine. Take your money and invest in someone else. She turned to walk back to the practice room. I heard you play, the man said. She stopped. 5 years ago, he continued. You performed Rachmaninoff's Piano Concerto No. 2 with the Accra Symphony Orchestra. Someone recorded it, posted it online. I've listened to that recording 643 times. The world went very quiet. I don't perform anymore, Adwoa said. I know. The accident was 6 months later. Stop. You lost your sight, but not your gift. You still play. I've heard you. How? Her voice came out sharp. How have you heard me? That's not important. It's important to me. Miss Niameki, he said, and something in his voice made her chest tight. I'm not here to upset you. I'm here to help you reach people again. Your music deserves an audience. I teach children. That's my audience. It could be more. I don't want more. The words came out louder than she meant. I want people to leave me alone. I want to live my life without strange men sending me money and showing up at my job and acting like they know what's best for me. Silence. Then, I apologize. That wasn't my intention. What was your intention? He didn't answer right away. When he spoke again, his voice was softer. To hear you play in person, just once. Something about the way he said it made Adwa's anger stumble. Who are you? She asked. Someone who understands what it's like to need music to breathe. That's not an answer. It's the only one I have right now. Footsteps retreating. I'll leave you alone, Miss Niameki. The money is yours regardless. No strings. Use it however you want. The door opened, closed. He was gone. Adwoa stood in the lobby, heart pounding, hands shaking. What just happened? Yuna whispered. I have no idea. That night, Adwoa couldn't sleep. She lay in bed, her phone reading the letter out loud over and over. $50,000. No strings. From a stranger who'd memorized her performance, who somehow knew about the accident, who spoke like music was oxygen. She should return the money. Obviously, that was the smart thing. But $50,000 could change everything. New equipment for the school, better accessibility software, maybe even her own place, something bigger than this tiny apartment. She rolled over, frustrated. Her phone rang. At midnight. She answered. Hello? Adwoa. It's Yuna. Don't freak out. But I did something. What did you do? I looked up the car that was parked outside today. The license plate. I have a friend who has a friend who works at the DMV. Yuna. It's registered to a company called Hansong Industries. The name meant nothing to Adwoa. And I googled Hansong Industries. Yuna's voice had gone strange again. Adwoa. Do you know who owns it? Obviously not. Ju Tae-rin. Silence. Am I supposed to know that name? Adwoa asked. Oh my God. You really don't watch the news, do you? Yuna. Ju Tae-rin basically runs half of Seoul's underground business. He's terrifying. People cross the street when they see him coming. There are rumors that he's connected to, like, everything bad that happens in this city. Adwoa sat up. You're joking. I sent you a link. Have your phone read the article. Adwoa hung up, opened her messages, clicked the link. Her phone's accessibility feature started reading. Ju Tae-rin, 32, heir to the Hansong Empire, known for his ruthless business tactics and connections to organized crime. Despite multiple investigations, no charges have ever stuck. Sources describe him as intelligent, dangerous, and completely untouchable. Her hands went cold. That man, that quiet-voiced man who talked about music like it mattered, who'd listened to her recordings 600 times. He was a criminal, and he'd chosen her. The next 3 days were strange. Adwoa went to work, taught her classes, came home. Normal routine. Except the academy's leaking roof suddenly got fixed. The landlord, who'd been ignoring complaints for months, had a crew out there the day after the letter arrived. Someone paid for it, Yuna said, anonymously. Adwoa's stomach sank. Then her apartment building announced they were upgrading units, offering her a bigger space on the ground floor, better for accessibility, at the same rent. This is such good timing, Mrs. Kim said. Someone must be watching over you. Someone was watching. That was the problem. On the 4th day, Adwoa made a decision. She had Yuna help her find the address for Hansong Industries. Then she took a taxi, which she never did, because taxis were expensive, and showed up at their office building. The lobby was cold, marble floors that echoed. air conditioning that was too strong. "I need to see Ju Tae-rin," Adwoa told the receptionist. "Do you have an appointment?" "No." "Then I'm afraid. Tell him Adwoa Nyamakie is here. He'll see me." 5 minutes later, she was in an elevator. Going up. The receptionist hadn't said a word, just made a phone call, then escorted her personally. The elevator opened. More marble, more cold air. Footsteps approached. "Miss Nyamakie," that clipped voice from before. The employee. "This way, please." She followed him down a hallway that seemed to go on forever. Then he stopped. "He's inside." The door opened. Adwo walked in, cane sweeping. The room was big. She could tell by the way sound moved. And quiet, except for breathing. His breathing. "You came," Ju Tae-rin said. "You've been following me," Adwo said. "Yes." Just like that. No denial, no excuse. "Why?" "I told you. I wanted to help. By stalking me? By throwing money at my problems? By fixing my roof and bribing my landlord?" Her voice rose. "Do you think I'm some charity case you can just decide to save?" "No." "Then what am I?" Silence. She heard him stand, heard him walk closer, stopped 3 feet away, close enough that she could smell his cologne. Something expensive and clean. "You're the person I've been looking for," he said quietly. "For what?" "For myself." Her breath caught. "I don't understand," she said. "I know." "Then explain it to me." "I intend to marry you." The room spun. Adwoa actually laughed. Because what else could you do when a stranger, a dangerous stranger, said something that insane? "You've lost your mind," she said. "Possibly. You don't know me. I know your music." "That's not the same thing." "It is to me." She shook her head, backing toward the door. "This is crazy. You're crazy. Stay away from me." "I can't do that." "Yes, you can. It's actually very simple. You just don't follow me, don't send me things, don't interfere with my life. And if I don't agree, then I'll call the police." He laughed, actually laughed, soft and bitter. "The police won't help you against me." Ice ran down her spine. "Is that a threat?" she asked. "It's a fact." His voice gentled. "But I'm not threatening you, Miss Nyamakie. I would never hurt you. Just control my entire life. Help, not control. They're the same thing when I don't have a choice." Silence again. Longer this time. "What would it take," he asked, "for you to give me a chance?" "A chance at what?" "Getting to know each other." "We're not getting to know each other. We're not doing anything. I'm leaving now, and you're going to forget I exist." She found the door handle, pulled it open. "I've tried that for 5 years," he said behind her. "It doesn't work." Adwoa walked out, made it to the elevator, got inside, hit the button for the lobby. The doors closed. She leaned against the wall, heart racing, hands shaking. What had she just walked into? The elevator descended. 30 floors. 20. 10. Her phone rang. "Unknown number." She answered. "Hello?" "It's me," Ju Tae-rin said. "How did you get this number?" "That's not important. Listen to me carefully. Someone is following you." Her blood went cold. "What?" "In the lobby. 2 men by the south entrance. They're not mine. Leave through the parking garage. Level 2. My driver is waiting." "I'm not getting in a car with your driver." "Then you'll have to deal with them yourself. Your choice." He hung up. The elevator doors opened. Adwoa stood there, cane gripped tight, trying to decide if he was lying, if this was some manipulation. Then she heard them. 2 male voices, speaking low. One of them said her name. Her full name, with the pronunciation almost right. They'd been waiting for her. She turned left, muscle memory from when she came in, found the garage entrance, pushed through the door. "Miss Nyamakie." A different voice. Older. "This way, please. Quickly." She didn't have time to think. She followed. A car door opened. She got in. It closed. The engine was already running. They pulled out fast. Smooth, but fast. "Who were those men?" she asked. "People who don't want you near Mr. Ju. the driver said. Why? That's between you and him, miss. The car drove for 15 minutes, then stopped. Your building, the driver said. You're safe. The door opened. Adwoa got out, disoriented. But he was right. She heard Mrs. Kim's wind chimes, smelled the restaurant on the corner. Home. How do you know where I live? She asked. But the car was already gone. Adwo made it inside, locked her door, and slid down to the floor. Her phone rang again. Same unknown number. She answered. Are you home? Ju Tae-rin asked. Yes. Good. Lock your door. Don't open it for anyone. What is happening? I'll explain tomorrow. I promise. For now, just trust me. I don't trust you. I know, he said, and something in his voice was almost sad. But I'm asking anyway. He hung up. Adwoa sat there on her floor, in her locked apartment, and wondered how her safe, predictable life had turned into this, and why part of her, a very small but very insistent part, wanted to hear what he had to say tomorrow. Morning came too fast. Adwoa didn't sleep. Every sound made her jump. Every car on the street could be someone watching, someone waiting. At 6, she gave up and made coffee. At 7, someone knocked. She froze. Miss Niamekye, it's Jin, Mr. Ju's driver from yesterday. I have breakfast and a message. Adwoa didn't move. I'm leaving it by your door, Jin said. Please eat something. Footsteps retreated. She waited 5 minutes, then opened the door a crack. Her fingers found a bag, warm, something that smelled like fresh bread and eggs. There was a note, too. Yuna read it to her later. I owe you an explanation. Dinner tonight, 7 o'clock. I'll send a car. You can say no, but I hope you won't. Tae-rin. You're not actually considering this, Yuna said. They were in the break room at the academy. Adwoa had called her the moment she arrived at work. He said he'd explain, Adwoa said. He's dangerous. Adwoa. Like actually dangerous. I read 5 more articles last night. This man makes people disappear. The articles say alleged. That's what they always say when someone's lawyers are scary enough. Adwoa picked at her lunch. Yuna had a point. Multiple points. All of them valid. But someone was waiting for me yesterday, she said quietly. He warned me, got me out safely. Or he staged the whole thing to make you feel like you need him. That's elaborate. He seems like an elaborate kind of person. Adwoa sighed. What if he really does just want to talk? Then he can talk here, in public, during the day, not at some private dinner where anything could happen. You're right. I am? Yes. Adwoa pulled out her phone. I'll tell him no. She composed a text message using voice dictation. Thank you for breakfast. I appreciate the offer, but I'm not comfortable with dinner. If you want to talk, we can meet at the cafe across from my work. Tomorrow at 4, Adwoa. She sent it. 3 minutes later, her phone buzzed. Agreed. I'll see you tomorrow. Thank you for giving me a chance. Yuna read it aloud. Okay, that's actually kind of respectful. Don't sound so surprised. I'm very surprised. Dangerous crime bosses aren't usually respectful. Alleged crime boss. You're defending him now? Adwoa wasn't sure what she was doing. The rest of the day crawled by. She taught her classes on autopilot. Sarah finally found middle C. James was still angry. Min showed up without practicing again. Normal. Safe. Boring. Exactly what she needed. At 6, she took the bus home. Counted stops. Got off at the right place. Walked her route. Someone was following her. She felt it before she heard it. The same footsteps matching her pace. Stopping when she stopped. Starting when she started. Her heart hammered. 2 more blocks to her building. She walked faster. The footsteps matched. 1 block. Miss Niamekye. A woman's voice. Young, polished. Adwoa stopped. Yes? I'd like to talk to you about Ju Tae-rin. I don't know him. That's not what I heard. Heels clicked closer. My name is Han Seo-yeon. My family has known the Ju family for 20 years. Tae-rin and I were supposed to be married. Adwoa's stomach dropped. I don't know anything about that, she said carefully. Of course you don't. You just showed up and ruined everything without even trying. Seo-yeon's voice was cold, sharp. Do you know what happens to women who get between powerful families? Is that a threat? It's advice. Go back to teaching your little piano lessons and forget he exists. This world isn't for people like you. People like me. Outsiders. Foreigners. People who don't understand how things work here. Heat flooded Adwoa's chest. I understand perfectly. You're angry because someone didn't pick you. That's not my problem. It will be. Seo-yeon stepped closer. Close enough that Adwoa could smell her perfume. Something floral and expensive. Stay away from him. I won't ask twice. Heels clicked away. Adwoa stood there, hands shaking, trying to process what just happened. Her phone rang. Are you all right? Tae-rin's voice, tight with something that sounded like anger. How did you know? I have someone watching your building. They saw Se-yeon approach you. What did she say? That I should stay away from you. Silence. Did she threaten you? He asked quietly. Sort of. I'm coming over. No. Adwoa. No. I don't need you showing up at my home. I don't need protection. I don't need any of this. Her voice cracked. I just want my normal life back. I know, he said, and he sounded genuinely sorry. I'm trying to fix this. You're the reason it's broken. She hung up, made it inside her building, up the stairs, into her apartment, locked the door, sat on her couch and put her head in her hands. This was insane. All of it. She should pack a bag, go to the airport, fly back to Ghana, and never look back. But that recording he mentioned, the Rachmaninoff, she hadn't thought about it in years, hadn't let herself think about it because it hurt too much. That performance was the best night of her life, the night everything felt possible, the night she knew, absolutely knew, that music was her future. 3 months later, the accident happened, and now someone, this strange, dangerous man, had listened to that performance 643 times. Why? Her phone buzzed, a text. I canceled the meeting tomorrow. You're right. This is too much too fast. I'm sorry for disrupting your life. If you want me to disappear, I will. Just say the word. Adwoa stared at her phone's screen, her accessibility reader repeating the message. She should say the word. Obviously. That was the smart choice. Her fingers hovered over the keyboard. She typed, I didn't cancel. 4 o'clock tomorrow. The cafe. Don't be late. Sent it before she could change her mind. His response came immediately. I'll be early. The cafe was small, and always smelled like cinnamon. Adwoa arrived at 3:45, ordered her usual chamomile tea, and sat at the corner table. Yuna had insisted on coming. She was at a different table, pretending to study, actually serving as backup. He's here, Yuna whispered at 3:50. Oh wow. What? Nothing. He's just tall. Footsteps approached, stopped at her table. Miss Nyamekye. Mr. Ju. May I sit? That's why we're here. The chair across from her scraped back. He sat. Ordered coffee when the server came by. Black, no sugar. Then silence. You said you'd explain, Adwoa said finally. I will. But first, I need to apologize. For everything. For interfering. For scaring you. For putting you in danger. Is Seo-yeon actually dangerous? Her family is. She's just desperate. Why? He paused. There's an arrangement. Between several families. It requires me to marry within the next 6 months, to maintain certain business alliances. Seo-yeon's family expected to be chosen. But you didn't choose her. No. Why not? Another pause. Because I don't love her. Do you love me? The question came out before Adwoa could stop it, sharp and challenging. I don't know you well enough to love you, Tae-rin said quietly. But I know your music, and your music is the only thing that's kept me sane for 5 years. Something in Adwoa's chest twisted. Tell me about the recording, she said. Which part? All of it. Why you listened. What it meant. Everything. He was quiet for a long moment. When he spoke, his voice was different. Softer, more real. 5 years ago, I was in a bad place. My father had just died. I inherited everything. The company, the responsibilities, the enemies. I was 27 and drowning. Someone gave me pills for anxiety. They didn't work. Someone else suggested therapy. That didn't work either. He stopped. She heard him pick up his coffee, put it down without drinking. Then one night, I couldn't sleep. I was scrolling through music videos and found yours. Some amateur recording from the Afro performance. The quality was terrible. The camera angle was wrong. But you, his voice caught. You played like the piano was an extension of your body, like the music was breathing through you. I'd never heard anything like it. I played it again, and again. Before I knew it, the sun was coming up, and I'd listened 20 times. Adwoa's throat tightened. It became a ritual, he continued. Every night before bed, sometimes in the car, sometimes during meetings when I needed to think clearly. That recording was the only thing that quieted everything else. Why didn't you find me sooner? She asked. I tried. But you'd disappeared. The orchestra didn't know where you went. Your social media accounts went dark. It was like you'd vanished. Then 6 months ago, I was driving past your academy and saw the name on the flyer, Adwoa Nyamekye, piano instruction. I thought it might be a coincidence. Common name, maybe. It's not a common name. I know that now, but I needed to be sure. So I came to one of the recitals, sat in the back, and when you played, even just the simple pieces for the children, I knew. He leaned forward. She felt the air shift. I've been coming to every recital since then, he said. Sometimes I stay late, after you think everyone's gone. I sit in the hallway and listen to you practice. I know that's wrong. I know it's invasive, but I couldn't stop myself. Adwoa's hands were shaking. She hid them under the table. That's stalking, she said. I know. That's not romantic. That's terrifying. I know. Then why are you telling me? Because you asked, and because I won't lie to you. His voice was steady. Sure. I can't offer you normal, Adwoa. I can't be a regular person who asks you on regular dates and hopes you say yes. My life doesn't work that way. But I can offer you honesty. I can offer you protection. And I can offer you the truth about why I chose you that day in the subway. Which is, I recognized your voice. You were annoyed and sharp and completely unafraid. And I knew immediately. That was you. The woman from the recording. The woman I'd been searching for. Adwoa sat back, processing, trying to separate the romantic parts from the terrifying parts, and failing completely. You understand this sounds insane, she said. Yes. You understand I should run away from you as fast as possible. Yes. You understand that I'm not some prize you can just claim because you decided you want me. Yes. He paused. But I hope you'll give me a chance anyway. Why would I do that? Because I think you're curious. I think part of you wants to know where this goes. And I think, maybe, you're a little tired of safe. Adwoa's breath caught. He was right. She hated that he was right. What exactly are you proposing? She asked. Let me take you to dinner. A real one. Let me show you who I am beyond the rumors. If you still want nothing to do with me after that, I'll disappear. Completely. No more interference. No more watching. I'll even leave Seoul if that's what you need. You'd do that? For you? Yes. The cafe felt too small suddenly. Too warm. One dinner, Adwoa said. One dinner. In public. With witnesses. Wherever you want. And Yuna comes. From across the cafe, Yuna made a choking sound. Tyrin was quiet. Then, all right. Really? You need someone you trust there. I understand. Yes. Adwoa hadn't expected him to agree. She'd expected him to argue or refuse, or prove that this was all about control. Instead, he'd just said yes. Okay, she said slowly. Saturday, 7 o'clock. There's a restaurant near the river. Italian place. Quiet, but public. I'll make a reservation. Under my name, not yours. Done. He stood. She felt him hesitate. Thank you, he said quietly, for giving me this chance. I know I don't deserve it. Then he was gone. Yuna rushed over the moment the door closed. "What just happened?" she hissed. "I have no idea," Adwoa said. But her heart was racing, and her hands were still shaking, and somewhere deep in her chest, something that had been dead for 5 years was starting to wake up. Saturday came too fast, and too slow at the same time. Adwoa changed outfits 3 times. Yuna helped, narrating each option until Adwoa wanted to scream. The blue dress makes you look elegant. The black one makes you look powerful. The yellow one makes you look happy. Which one makes me look like I know what I'm doing? None of them, because you don't know what you're doing. Helpful, Yuna. Very helpful. They settled on the blue dress. Simple, knee-length, nothing too fancy. "You look beautiful," Yuna said. "He can't see me." "But I can, and you should know." The restaurant was exactly as Adwoa remembered. Small tables, live piano music in the corner, the smell of garlic and fresh bread. They arrived first. The host led them to a table by the window. "This is really happening," Yuna whispered. "It's just dinner. With a crime boss. Alleged. You keep saying that like it makes it better." At 7 exactly, Adwoa heard the door open, felt the room's energy shift. Footsteps approached. "Adwoa," Tae-rin's voice. "Thank you for coming." "You're welcome." "Yuna, thank you for joining us." "Uh-huh." Yuna's voice was tight, suspicious. He sat, ordered wine, read. Something expensive that the waiter seemed impressed by. "So," Yuna said when the waiter left, "tell us about yourself, Mr. Jew. What do you do for a living?" "Yuna," Adwoa said. "What? It's a normal question." "It's fine," Tae-rin said. There was amusement in his voice. "I run my family's business. Import and export mostly. Some real estate. Some investment ventures. And the other stuff?" Yuna pressed. "What other stuff?" "The stuff the articles talk about." Silence. "Yuna," Adwoa said again. "No, it's a fair question." Tae-rin's voice was measured, careful. "I won't lie to you. My family's business operates in gray areas sometimes. We have connections that make people uncomfortable. We solve problems that others can't, or won't solve. But I've never hurt anyone who didn't hurt us first, and I've certainly never hurt anyone innocent." "How do we know that's true?" Yuna asked. "You don't. You have to decide whether to trust me." "That's not reassuring. It's honest." Adwoa could feel the tension across the table. Yuna protecting her. Tae-rin allowing it. Not getting defensive or angry. Just accepting that he had to prove himself. The waiter returned with wine and bread. Took their orders. Disappeared again. "Can I ask you something?" Adwoa said. "Anything," Tae-rin replied. "The marriage arrangement you mentioned. What happens if you don't choose someone?" "My business partners will withdraw their support. Several deals will collapse. People who depend on me will be hurt." "That's a lot of pressure." "Yes. And you're willing to risk all of that for someone you barely know." He was quiet for a moment. "The arrangement says I have to marry. It doesn't say who. I'd rather choose someone I want to know than someone I'm obligated to tolerate." "But why me specifically?" "I told you, your music. That's not enough. It is for me." Yuna made a small sound. When Adwoa turned toward her, she whispered, "Okay, that was kind of romantic." "Yuna." "What?" It was. Dinner arrived. Pasta for Adwoa. Risotto for Yuna. Something with steak for Tae-rin. They ate in relative silence for a while. Then Tae-rin spoke. "Can I ask you something now?" "Fair is fair," Adwoa said. "Why did you stop performing?" The question hit like a punch. "The accident," she said simply. "But you can still play." "Not like I used to." "I've heard you. You're better than most professional pianists I've seen. You can't see what you're playing when you're performing for hundreds of people. You can't feel the crowd or know if you're connecting. You're just alone on a stage playing into darkness." Her voice cracked on the last word. Tae-rin didn't respond immediately. When he did, his voice was soft. "I think you're wrong." "About what?" "About being alone. Music connects even when you can't see the audience. Especially then. It's pure. Just sound and emotion. No distractions. That's easy to say when you can see. Maybe. But I've watched you teach. I've seen how your students respond to you. They're not watching your hands or your face. They're feeling what you're giving them. That's rarer than you think. Adwa's throat tightened. Before we go further, I want to know what you think happens next. Drop a comment with your prediction. And hit that like button if you're invested in this story. Because things are about to get complicated. You've really thought about this, she said. I've thought about you for 5 years. Yes. Yuna kicked Adwoa under the table. When Adwoa turned toward her, she mouthed, "Oh my God." The rest of dinner was easier. Taerin asked about her students. About Ghana. About how she ended up in Seoul. She asked about his family. His childhood. What he did when he wasn't running criminal empires. Alleged criminal empires, he corrected, and she heard the smile in his voice. Yuna slowly relaxed. Started asking normal questions. Even laughed once. When dessert came, tiramisu they all shared. Tolrin's phone buzzed. He ignored it. It buzzed again. You can check that, Adwoa said. It's not important. Third buzz. Taerin. He sighed, picked it up. His entire energy changed. I need to take this. Excuse me. He stood, walked outside. Adwa could see his silhouette through the window, tense and angry. Something's wrong, Yuna whispered. How do you know? His whole body changed. He looks ready to kill someone. 5 minutes passed. 10. Toren came back, sat down. His voice was controlled but tight. I'm sorry. Something's come up. I need to leave. Is everything okay? Adwa asked. It will be. Let me take care of this, and I'll call you later. Taerin, what happened? He hesitated. Someone made a move against one of my businesses. Timing is suspicious, right when I'm here with you. You think it's connected? I know it is. So-yeon's family is sending a message. Ice ran through Adwa's veins. What kind of message? That they're not giving up without a fight. He stood, put money on the table. Way too much money. Stay here. Finish dessert. Jin will drive you both home when you're ready. I can take a taxi. Adwoa. His voice was firm now. The soft version from dinner was gone. This was the other side of him. The dangerous side. Please, let Jin drive you. For my peace of mind. She nodded. He left. The restaurant felt emptier without him. Well, Yuna said after a minute. That was intense. Yeah. Are you okay? I don't know. They finished dessert in silence. Jin appeared exactly when they were done. Like he'd been watching. He probably had been. The drive home was quiet. Jin dropped Yuna off first, then took Adwaya to her building. Miss Nyamekye, he said before she got out. Yes? Mr. Ju doesn't let people in easily. The fact that he's trying with you means something. I've worked for him for 8 years. I've never seen him like this. Like what? Hopeful. Adwoa didn't know what to say to that. She made it inside, up to her apartment, locked the door. Her phone rang at midnight. I'm sorry about tonight, Taerin said. It's okay. Is everything handled? For now, they'll try again though. Because of me. Because they're desperate. This isn't your fault, Adwoa. It feels like my fault. It's not, I promise. He paused. Did you have a good time? Before the interruption? She smiled despite herself. Yes. Good. Can I see you again? I thought this was a one-time thing. You said one dinner to decide. Have you decided? Adwoa sat on her couch. Thought about the evening. About how he'd answered Yuna's hard questions. How he'd talked about music. How he'd respected every boundary she'd set. How he'd looked, according to Yuna, when that phone call came. Ready to protect what was his. One more, she said. But I choose where. Deal. And you have to answer a question first. All right. What did you mean when you said her in the subway? Silence. I meant that I'd found you, he said finally. After 5 years of looking, after giving up hope, there you were, yelling at me for not saying excuse me. And I knew. That was it. That was my chance. So I claimed it. By saying one word. It was all I could manage without scaring you more than I already had. Adwoa's heart was doing complicated things in her chest. Okay, she said. Okay? Okay, I'll see you again. She could hear his smile through the phone. Thank you. Don't thank me yet. You haven't heard where I'm taking you. I don't care where, as long as you're there. And despite everything, despite all the reasons this was a terrible idea, Adwoa found herself smiling too. Adwoa chose the children's recital. You want me to come watch you teach? Tae-rin asked when she told him. I want you to see what my life actually looks like. Not fancy dinners, not dramatic rescues. Just normal, boring piano lessons with kids who can't keep rhythm. Nothing about you is boring. You haven't met my Tuesday class. He laughed. Actually laughed. It was a good sound. The recital was on Friday. 20 students performing pieces they'd been practicing for months. Parents with cameras. Grandparents with flowers. Chaos in the best possible way. Yuna helped set up chairs, while Adwoa did last-minute check-ins with nervous students. Miss Adwoa, what if I forget the notes? Sarah asked. She was vibrating with anxiety. Then you make up new ones. The piano won't tell on you. But everyone will know. Everyone will be too busy watching their own kid to notice. Trust me. Sarah didn't look convinced, but she nodded anyway. At 6:30, people started arriving. The room filled with voices and rustling programs, and the smell of too much perfume. At 6:45, Yuna whispered, He's here. Adwoa's heart jumped. Where? Back row. Far corner. He brought flowers. What kind? Sunflowers, like a lot of them. Adwoa had mentioned once, during dinner, that sunflowers were her favorite because her mother grew them in Ghana. She'd said it in passing, barely a comment. He'd remembered. The recital started. Sarah went first, made it through her piece with only 2 mistakes. The crowd clapped, her parents cried. James played angry Beethoven and somehow made it work. Min actually practiced this time, and it showed. Piece after piece, kid after kid. When it was over, parents swarmed their children. Adwoa stood to the side, accepting thank yous and compliments. Then footsteps approached. His footsteps. That was beautiful, Tae-rin said. They did well. You did well. The way you prepared them. The way they trust you. That's not easy to build. Someone pressed flowers into her hands. Large, wrapped in paper that crinkled. Sunflowers, he said. I hope that's okay. It's perfect. Her voice came out softer than she meant. Thank you. Can I take you home? I need to clean up first. I'll help. And he did. Tae-rin, this powerful, dangerous man, helped fold chairs and stack music stands and sweep the floor. Parents stared. Yuna looked like she might pass out. But he just worked quietly, following Adwoa's directions, never complaining. When everything was done, they walked outside. Jin was waiting with the car. Actually, Adwoa said, can we walk? It's not far. Tae-rin hesitated. It's dark. I know. I can't tell anyway. That's not what I meant. It's not safe. Seoul is very safe. Not for you. Not right now. Something in his voice made her stop. What happened? Seoyeon's family made another move. Nothing serious. Just pressure tactics. But I'd feel better if we took the car. Adwoa wanted to argue. Wanted to insist on her independence. But the fear in his voice was real. Okay, she said. The car. The drive took 5 minutes. Tae-rin walked her to her door. Thank you for inviting me tonight, he said. Thank you for coming. Can I ask you something? Always. Why did you really invite me? It wasn't just to see your normal life. Adwoa smiled. No. It was to see if you'd show up. If you'd be willing to sit through an hour of children playing piano badly just because I asked. And? You stacked chairs without being asked. That says a lot. What does it say? That maybe you're not just interested in the idea of me. Maybe you actually want to know the real me. He was quiet for a moment. I want to know everything about you. The music, yes, but also the way you count steps. The way you tilt your head when you're thinking. The way you get annoyed when students don't practice but never actually yell at them. You noticed all that? I notice everything about you. Her breath caught. Tae-rin. She started. I know. Too much. I'm sorry. No. I was going to say thank you. For seeing me. Really, seeing me. Most people just see the cane. The cane is the least interesting thing about you. Before she could respond, his phone rang. He swore under his breath. I need to take this, he said. Go, I'm fine. He hesitated. I'm literally at my door. Go handle your business. He answered the phone, already walking away. What is it? Adwoa went inside, locked the door, and leaned against it with her sunflowers. This was getting complicated. The next week was strange. Tae-rin called every night, never for long, just to check in, ask about her day, tell her small things about his. I had a meeting that lasted 4 hours, he said on Tuesday. That sounds terrible. It was. I kept thinking about how you said James plays like he's angry at the piano. It made me smile. The man across from me thought I was plotting something. Were you? Always. But not what he thought. They started meeting for coffee. Quick 30-minute breaks between his meetings and her classes. Nothing fancy. Just sitting in the same small cafe, talking about everything and nothing. Yuna approved, cautiously. He's growing on me, she admitted. Like a fungus. That's romantic. I'm being serious. He's actually trying. That counts for something. On Thursday, Adwoa's landlord called. Miss Nyamekye, I have good news. Someone bought your building. The new owner is upgrading all the units. Better accessibility features. New appliances. Everything. Adwoa's stomach sank. Who bought it? I'm not sure. Some investment company. But isn't it wonderful? She hung up and immediately called Tae-rin. Did you buy my building? Silence. Tae-rin. Yes. Why would you do that? Because the stairs are dangerous. Because your bathroom isn't accessible. Because you deserve better. You can't just buy buildings because you think I deserve better. I can. I did. That's insane. Probably. She wanted to be angry. She should be angry. But underneath the frustration was something else. Something warm and confusing. You have to stop doing things like this, she said. I will, after this building is finished. Tae-rin. Adwa, I have the resources to make your life easier. Why wouldn't I use them? Because it feels like control. It's not control. It's care. There's a difference. The difference is consent. You didn't ask me. He was quiet for a long moment. You're right. I'm sorry. I should have asked. I'm not used to asking permission for anything. Well, get used to it. If this is going to work, you can't just make decisions for me. If this is going to work? His voice changed. Lighter. Hopeful. Does that mean you're considering it working? Don't push your luck. But she was smiling, and he probably knew it. Friday night, Tae-rin picked her up for an actual date. Dinner again, but different this time. A Korean restaurant, small and traditional, where his family apparently had a private room. Your family comes here? Adwoa asked as they were seated. They used to, before my father died. Now it's just me sometimes. This feels important. It is. I wanted to share it with you. They ordered. Too much food according to the server, but Tae-rin insisted. Tell me about your family, Adwoa said when they were alone. What do you want to know? Everything. You know about mine. I've told you about my parents in Ghana, my sister, my childhood, but you never talk about yours. He was quiet. It's not a happy story. Most family stories aren't. He sighed. My father built the business from nothing. Started as a dock worker, ended up controlling half the port trade in Seoul. He was brilliant and ruthless, and expected the same from me. Were you close? No. He saw me as his legacy, not his son. When he died, I was relieved, then immediately guilty for being relieved. That's normal. Is it? My father and I didn't speak for a year after I lost my sight. He wanted me to come home, give up music, let them take care of me. I refused. It hurt him, but I had to choose myself. Do you regret it? Sometimes, but mostly no. We're better now. He understands. How did you make him understand? I invited him to a recital. Let him see that I was still me. Just different. He cried. We talked. It got easier. Tyrin reached across the table. His hand found hers. Warm. Steady. You're stronger than you think, he said. So are you. They ate. Talked about lighter things. He told her about Jin's obsession with detective shows. She told him about Mrs. Kim's attempts at matchmaking. She showed me a picture of her nephew last week, Adwoa said. Described him in detail for 20 minutes. What did you say? That I was seeing someone. Tyrin went very still. Are you? I don't know. Am I? I'd like you to be. Her heart hammered. This is complicated. I know. Your world is dangerous. I know. People are actively trying to keep us apart. I know. His thumb traced circles on her hand. But I've never wanted anything the way I want this, the way I want you. Why? Because when I'm with you, I'm not the heir or the boss or the threat. I'm just me. Do you know how rare that is? Tyrin, I'm not asking you to decide anything tonight. I'm just asking you to think about it. About us. About whether this is worth the complications. Before she could respond, the door opened. A woman stood there. Older, elegant, wearing a hanbok that probably cost more than Adwe's yearly salary. So it's true, the woman said in Korean. My son is courting a blind foreigner. Tyrin stood so fast his chair scraped. Mother, what are you doing here? I own this restaurant. Or did you forget? She stepped inside. The air went cold. I came to see for myself what kind of woman would make you abandon your responsibilities. I haven't abandoned anything. You rejected Seoyeon. You've ignored every suitable match we've arranged. All for her. The contempt in her voice was sharp enough to cut. Adwoa stood. Mrs. Ju, I'm Adwoa Nyamekye. It's nice to meet you. I'm sure it is. Convenient too. Marrying into wealth must seem like a dream. Mother, Tyrin said, his voice dangerous now. That's enough. Is it? Because from where I stand, this woman appeared out of nowhere, and suddenly you're making reckless decisions that could destroy everything your father built. My father is dead. This is my business now. And you're running it into the ground for what? A pretty face you can't even see? The cruelty of it hit like a slap. Adwoa felt Tyrin move, felt his anger radiating. But she spoke first. You're right, she said calmly. I can't see your son. I don't know if he's handsome or ugly or somewhere in between. But I can hear when he's honest. I can feel when he's kind. And I know that he treats me like a person, not a trophy. Can you say the same about the women you chose for him? Silence. How dare you, Mrs. Ju said. I dare, because I have nothing to lose. You can't threaten me with poverty. I already have nothing. You can't threaten me with scandal. I'm already an outsider. The only thing you can do is take him away, and that's his choice, not mine. Adwoa picked up her bag, found her cane. Thank you for dinner, Tyrin. I should go. Adwoa, wait. No. Your mother is right about one thing. This is complicated. You need to figure out what you're willing to risk. I won't ask you to choose between me and your family. That's not fair. She walked out. Found the door. Made it to the street. Jin was there immediately. Miss Nyamekye, let me drive you. I'm fine. Please, Mr. Ju would want me to make sure you're safe. She got in the car. Let Jin drive her home in silence. When she got to her apartment, she sat on the floor with her back against the door and finally let herself cry. Her phone rang an hour later. I'm sorry, Tyrin said. His voice was rough, tired. It's not your fault. It is. I should have warned you. Should have prepared you for how vicious she can be. She's protecting her family. I understand that. By attacking you, that's not protection. That's cruelty. What did you say to her after I left? Things I can't take back. Things that needed to be said years ago. Tyrin. I told her that I'm not my father, that I won't marry for business or obligation or family approval, that if she can't accept that, she can leave the company. Adwoa's breath caught. You can't do that. She's your mother. She's also on the board of directors. and she crossed a line tonight. By being honest, Tae-rin, everything she said was valid. I am a complication. I do put your business at risk. Maybe she's right. She's not. How do you know? Because the business means nothing without something worth protecting. My father spent his whole life building an empire and died alone and miserable. I won't make the same mistake. So I'm what? Your rebellion against your family legacy? You're my choice. The first real choice I've made in 10 years. Adwoa pressed her hand against her chest, trying to slow her racing heart. I need time, she said, to think, to process. This is all happening so fast. Take all the time you need. Will you wait? As long as it takes. She hung up and sat in the dark, her mind spinning. This was insane. All of it. A month ago, her life was simple, predictable, safe. Now she was caught in the middle of family politics and business arrangements, and a man who looked at her like she was the answer to a question he'd been asking for years. Her phone buzzed. A text from Yuna. Just saw the news. Tae-rin's mother called an emergency board meeting. This is getting serious. Are you okay? Adwoa typed back. I don't know. Because she didn't. The weekend was quiet. Too quiet. Tae-rin didn't call, didn't text, gave her space like she'd asked. Adwoa hated it. She went to work, taught her classes, smiled when parents asked if she was feeling all right. But inside, she was unraveling. On Sunday, Mrs. Kim knocked. You have a visitor, she said. Who? Very fancy lady. Says she needs to speak with you urgently. Adwoa's stomach dropped. She opened the door. Mrs. Ju. Miss Niamekye, may I come in? This was a terrible idea. But Adwoa stepped aside. Tae-rin's mother entered, looked around the small apartment, said nothing about it. I'll be direct, she said. I'm here to make you an offer. I'm not interested. You haven't heard it yet. I don't need to. Whatever you're offering, the answer is no. 500 million won, transferred to any account you want. All you have to do is leave Seoul and never contact my son again. The number was staggering, life-changing. Enough to go back to Ghana, buy a house, start her own music school. Everything she'd ever wanted. No, Adwoa said. Mrs. Ju blinked. Excuse me. I said no. That's more money than you'll see in your lifetime. Probably. I still don't want it. Don't be foolish. You're a piano teacher. You live in a tiny apartment. This money could change your life. My life is fine. Is it? Or are you just too proud to admit you need help? Adwoa laughed. Actually laughed. You know what's funny? Your son said almost the same thing. But when he offers help, it's because he cares. When you offer it, it's because you want me gone. I'll take genuine care over manipulative charity any day. Mrs. Ju's expression hardened. You think he cares about you? You're a novelty, a distraction. Once the excitement wears off, he'll realize what a mistake you are. Maybe, but that's between him and me, not you. I could make your life very difficult. You already have. I'm still here. They stared at each other. Well, Mrs. Ju stared. Adwoa just stood her ground. You're going to regret this, Mrs. Ju said finally. Maybe, but at least it'll be my choice to regret. The door closed. Adwoa waited until she heard footsteps retreating down the hall. Then she called Tae-rin. Your mother just offered me 500 million won to leave you, she said when he answered. Silence. What did you say? His voice was carefully controlled. I said no. Why? Because I don't want her money. I want to make my own choices. And right now, I'm choosing to see where this goes. If you still want that. If I still want that? He sounded breathless, disbelieving. Adwoa, I've wanted nothing else since the moment I heard your voice. Then come over. We need to talk. Really talk. I'll be there in 10 minutes. He made it in 8. Adwoa heard him taking the stairs 2 at a time, heard him pause outside her door, catching his breath. She opened it before he could knock. Hi, she said. Hi. They stood there for a moment. Then Adwoa stepped back. Come in. He followed her inside. She heard him close the door. Lock it. Your mother is terrifying, Adwoa said. I know. I'm sorry. Don't apologize for her. Apologize for yourself if you do something wrong. But her choices are hers. Fair enough. Adwoa sat on the couch, patted the space beside her. He sat, close enough that she could feel his warmth. I need you to be honest with me, she said. Completely honest. No romance, no pretty words, just truth. All right. Is this real? What you feel for me? Or am I just convenient? The right person at the right time to solve your marriage problem? It's real, no hesitation. The marriage arrangement complicated things, yes. But I chose you before I even knew you could be a solution. I chose you because that recording saved my life. And when I found you, it felt like fate. I don't believe in fate. Neither did I, until you bumped into me. She smiled despite herself. That's still not an answer. Then here's the answer. Yes, it's real. Yes, I'm terrified, because I've never felt this way about anyone. Yes, it's complicated and messy, and probably a disaster waiting to happen. But I don't care. I want to try anyway. Adwoa reached out, found his hand, laced her fingers through his. I want to try too, she said quietly. But I need you to understand something. I won't be controlled. I won't be managed. I won't be turned into some perfect society wife who smiles and stays quiet. Good. That sounds boring. I'm serious. So am I. I don't want you to change. I want you exactly as you are. Stubborn and brilliant, and completely unwilling to tolerate anyone's nonsense, including mine. Especially yours. Especially mine, he agreed. She took a breath. Okay. Okay? Okay. Let's do this. Let's try. But we do it my way. Which is? Slow. Honest. No more surprise building purchases. No more grand gestures without asking. We talk. We negotiate. We figure this out together. I can do that. Can you? Really? Because your instinct is to fix everything, and control everything, and make decisions for everyone. You're right, but I'm willing to learn. If you're willing to teach me. Adwoa turned toward him, raised her free hand to his face. He went very still. Her fingers traced his features. Strong jaw, high cheekbones, a small scar near his eyebrow. What happened here? She asked, touching the scar. Fight when I was 15. The other guy looked worse. I bet he did. She continued exploring. His nose straight and proud. His lips soft and curved into a small smile. You're smiling, she said. You're touching my face. It's hard not to smile. Is this okay? It's more than okay. Her fingers traced up to his hair. Short, neat. She ran her hand through it and felt him exhale. Now I know what you look like, she said. And you feel exactly like I imagined. Which is? Strong. Careful. A little bit dangerous. Is that good or bad? I haven't decided yet. Before we find out what happens next, I have to know. Are you Team Adwoa or Team Tae-rin's mother? Drop a comment and let me know whose side you're on. This story is about to get even more intense. He laughed, soft and genuine. Then his hand came up to cover hers, still resting against his cheek. Thank you, he said. For what? For giving me a chance, for not taking my mother's money, for being brave enough to try this, even though it's terrifying. Who says I'm brave? I'm terrified. Bravery isn't not being scared. It's being scared and doing it anyway. That sounds like something from a fortune cookie. I'm trying to be romantic. Try harder. He pulled her closer, wrapped his arms around her. She let herself lean into him, her head against his chest, listening to his heartbeat. Is this better? He asked. Much better. They sat like that for a long time. No talking, just breathing together, being together. Finally, Adwoa spoke. What happens now? With your family? With the business? I handle it. You don't worry about it. Tae-rin, I'm serious. This is my mess. I'll clean it up. We're in this together now. That means I get to help carry the mess. You don't want to carry this particular mess. Trust me. Too bad. You're stuck with me now. She felt him smile against her hair. I can live with that. The next morning, everything changed. Adwada woke up to her phone ringing. Yuna panicked. Turn on the news. Any channel, now. I can't exactly turn on the news, Yuna. Right. Okay. I'm reading you the headline. Ju Tae-rin breaks family alliance. Chooses love over business. There's a picture of you two leaving the restaurant. Adwo's blood went cold. What? Someone leaked it. The whole story. About the marriage arrangement. About him choosing you instead. About his mother's offer. Everything. How is that possible? I don't know. But it's everywhere. Social media is going crazy. Some people think it's romantic. Others think you're destroying his family legacy. It's a whole thing. Adwoa sat up. Her hands were shaking. I need to call him. He's already handling it. There's a press conference scheduled for this afternoon. A press conference? Adwoa. This is national news. Your national news. The blind African woman who captured the heart of Seoul's most powerful bachelor. It's like a drama come to life. I don't want to be a drama. Too late. Adwoa hung up and immediately called Tae-rin. I'm sorry, he said before she could speak. Someone on my mother's staff leaked it. I'm handling it. How? By telling the truth. I'm holding a press conference this afternoon. I'm going to confirm everything and make it clear that you're not a scandal. You're my choice. Tae-rin, you can't do that. The backlash will happen regardless. At least this way, I control the narrative. What about your business? I have contingency plans. Partners who will stay regardless. And the ones who leave? I don't want to work with people who think love is a weakness. This is insane. I know, but it's happening. And I need to know. Are you okay? Really? Adwoa took a breath. I'm scared. Me too. But I'm not running. Good. Because I need you there. At the press conference. With me. Her heart stopped. What? I know it's asking a lot. I know it's public and terrifying and everything you probably hate. But I can't do this without you. I need you beside me. Tae-rin, if you say no, I understand. I'll do it alone. But I'm asking anyway. Adwoa closed her eyes. Thought about everything that had happened in the past month. Thought about the man who'd listened to her recording 643 times. Who'd helped fold chairs at a children's recital. Who'd held her on her couch and promised to learn how to ask instead of control. What time is the press conference? She asked. 3 o'clock. I'll be there. She heard him exhale. Relief, joy, fear, all of it mixed together. Thank you, he said quietly. Don't thank me yet. I might faint on camera. I'll catch you. That's very romantic. I'm learning. The press conference was set up in a hotel conference room. Adwoa arrived early with Jin, who'd been giving her quiet updates all morning. There are about 50 reporters, he said. Mr. Ju is handling the setup. He'll come get you when it's time. How does he seem? Calm, focused, ready. Adwoa nodded. She was none of those things. Yuna arrived 20 minutes later, breathless. Okay, I did your makeup. Your hair looks good. Your dress is perfect. You look like you belong at a press conference with a billionaire. Alleged billionaire. Not anymore. I looked up his net worth. It's terrifying. That's not helping. Sorry. You look beautiful. Is that better? Slightly. Footsteps approached. Tae-rin's footsteps. It's time, he said. Adwoa stood. Her legs felt like water. His hand found hers, warm, steady. You don't have to do this, he said quietly. I know. But you're doing it anyway. Apparently I make bad decisions now. He laughed, soft and genuine. Ready? No. Let's go anyway. They walked into the conference room together. The noise was immediate. Camera shutters, voices, questions being shouted. Tae-rin led her to a table, pulled out a chair, waited until she was seated before sitting beside her. Thank you all for coming, he said. His voice was clear, authoritative, the voice of someone used to being in charge. I know there are many rumors circulating. I'm here to address them directly. He paused. The room went quiet. 4 months ago, I was required by family and business obligations to choose a wife. Several women were suggested. All of them were suitable by traditional standards. But I didn't choose any of them. Instead, I chose Adwoa Nyamekye. He turned toward her. She felt every camera in the room focus on her face. I chose her not because she was convenient or suitable, or part of any arrangement. I chose her because 5 years ago, she played a piano concerto that saved my life. I chose her because when we met by accident in a subway station, she was the first person in years to treat me like a normal human being. I chose her because she's brilliant and stubborn and completely unwilling to be controlled by anyone, including me. Murmurs rippled through the crowd. Some of you will say this is reckless, that I'm abandoning my responsibilities, that I'm putting personal feelings above business obligations. You're right, I am. Because my father spent his entire life sacrificing happiness for success, and I watched it destroy him. I won't make the same mistake. He took Adwoa's hand, raised it above the table so everyone could see. This is my choice. She is my choice. And anyone who has a problem with that can take it up with me directly. The room exploded. Questions shouted over each other. Cameras flashing. Chaos. Tyreen stood, helped Adwoa stand. That's all. Thank you. He led her out through a back door. Jin was waiting with the car. They got in. The door closed. The noise disappeared. Silence. That was. Adwoa started. Insane, Tyreen finished. I was going to say brave. Same thing. She laughed. Actually laughed. The tension breaking all at once. What happens now? She asked. Now we wait. See who stays. See who leaves. Figure out what comes next. Together? Together. He pulled her close. She let herself lean into him, breathing in his cologne, feeling his heartbeat against her cheek. I'm scared, she admitted. Me too. But also excited. Also that. We're crazy. Completely. And despite everything, despite the chaos they just walked into, Adwoa found herself smiling. Because for the first time in 5 years, she felt alive. The fallout was immediate and brutal. By the next morning, 3 major business partners had withdrawn their contracts. Taerin's mother resigned from the board of directors. Seo Yeon's family issued a statement calling him irresponsible and unstable. But 2 new investors came forward, younger entrepreneurs who respected his choice. Several smaller businesses reached out with partnership offers, and the public response was split down the middle, which was better than Adwoa expected. You have fan accounts now, Yuna said, scrolling through social media. People are calling you the real-life Cinderella story. I'm not Cinderella. Tell that to the internet. Adwoa sat in her apartment, trying to process everything. Her quiet life was gone. Photographers camped outside her building. Students' parents were asking questions. Mrs. Kim had taken to screening all visitors. It was overwhelming. But Tae-rin called every morning, came by every evening, never pushed, never demanded, just showed up. On Wednesday, he brought dinner and gin. We need to talk about security, he said. I'm fine. Someone tried to follow you to work yesterday. That was just a photographer. Photographers don't drive black sedans with tinted windows. That was someone from Seo Yeon's family, trying to intimidate you. Adwoa's stomach dropped. What do they want? For you to leave. They think if you're scared enough, you'll run. They're wrong, but they don't know that yet. So what do? We increase security. Jin will drive you to and from work. I'll have someone stationed near the academy during the day, just until things settle down. That feels like a lot. It's necessary. Please, Adwoa, let me do this. She heard the fear in his voice. Real fear. For her. Okay, she said. But just until things calm down. Thank you. They ate dinner, talked about small things. He told her about a meeting where someone called him reckless to his face. What did you say, Hlasked? She asked. I agreed with them. Then I made a deal anyway, because the numbers were solid. Business is business. You're impossible. I prefer determined. On Friday, Adwoa got a call from an unknown number. Miss Nyamekye? This is the Sejong Cultural Foundation. We're hosting a gala next month. We'd like you to perform. Her heart stopped. Perform? Yes, a full recital. We've heard your recent publicity and think it's the perfect opportunity to showcase your talent. The payment would be substantial, and it would be broadcast nationally. I don't perform anymore. We understand you haven't recently, but your story is inspiring. People want to hear you play. Will you consider it? Adwa's hands were shaking. I need to think about it. Of course. We'll follow up next week. She hung up and immediately called Tae-rin. They want me to perform, she said. The foundation? Yes, a gala. National broadcast. Everything I gave up 5 years ago. What did you say? That I'd think about it. What are you thinking now? Adwoa sat down. Her mind was racing. I'm thinking I'm terrified. I'm thinking I haven't performed for an audience in 5 years. I'm thinking, what if I fail? What if everyone realizes I'm not as good as that recording? And I'm thinking maybe I want to try anyway. Silence. Then try, Tae-rin said quietly. I'll be in the front row. You can't see me from the front row. I don't need to see you. I just need to hear you. And just like that, Adwa made her decision. Okay, she said. I'll do it. Before I tell you what happens at the gala, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. This story is almost over, and you don't want to miss the ending. Trust me. The next 3 weeks were chaos. Adwoa practiced every day, hours at the piano, relearning how to perform without sight, how to trust herself, how to let the music speak. Tae-rin came to every practice, sat in the corner, never interrupted, just listened. You're getting better, he said after one particularly long session. I'm getting tired. That too. The gala approached too fast and too slow at the same time. The academy gave her time off. Yuna helped coordinate everything. Jin drove her to and from practice sessions. And Tae-rin just showed up. Every single day. 3 days before the gala, his mother called. I want to meet, she said. Just us. No Tae-rin. Why? To talk, that's all. Adwoa agreed, against her better judgment. They met at a tea house. Quiet, private. Mrs. Ju ordered for both of them, then waited until the server left. I owe you an apology, she said. Adwoa nearly dropped her cup. Excuse me? I was cruel. I said things designed to hurt you because I was afraid. That's not an excuse. It's just the truth. Afraid of what? Of losing my son. Of him making the same mistakes his father made. Of him choosing passion over stability and destroying everything we built. But he's not his father. I know that now. Mrs. Ju sighed. I've been watching him these past few weeks. He's happier than I've seen him in years. More focused. More alive. And that's because of you. Adwoa didn't know what to say. I'm not asking you to forgive me, Mrs. Ju continued. I'm just asking you to understand. I was trying to protect my son. I was wrong about how to do it. Thank you for saying that. Will you still do the gala? Yes. Good, because I bought tickets. Front row. I want to hear what he hears when you play. Tears pricked Adwoa's eyes. Mrs. Ju, call me mother. If you're going to marry my son, we should at least try to get along. He hasn't asked me to marry him. He will. Soon. I know my son. They drank tea, talked about small things. By the end, they weren't friends. But they weren't enemies either. It was a start. The night of the gala arrived. Adwoa wore a dress that Yuna had helped her choose. Blue, elegant, perfect for a concert hall. Jin drove her to the venue. Tae-rin met her backstage. How are you feeling? He asked. Like I might throw up. That's normal. Is it? No idea. But it sounded supportive. She laughed, despite her nerves. Thank you, she said. For what? For everything. For finding me. For choosing me. For giving me a reason to play again. He took her hands. I should be thanking you. You gave me a reason to want more than just success. You gave me hope. The stage manager knocked. 5 minutes, Miss Nyameki. Adwoa took a deep breath. Ready? Tae-rin asked. No, let's go anyway. He walked her to the stage entrance, kissed her forehead. I'll be listening, he said. Then she was alone. She walked onto the stage. heard the crowd go quiet, found the piano by memory and touch, sat down. The keys were cool under her fingers, familiar, home. She began to play. The same piece from 5 years ago, Rachmaninoff's Piano Concerto No. 2, the piece that had started everything. But this time, she wasn't playing for judges or critics, or her own ambition. She was playing for herself, for the girl who'd lost her sight and thought she'd lost everything, for the woman who'd learned to see in different ways, for the future that was still being written. And for him, the man who'd listened to this piece 643 times and somehow found her in a crowded subway station. The music filled the hall, filled her, filled everything. When she finished, the silence was absolute. Then applause. Thunderous, standing ovation. Adwo stood, bowed, felt tears on her cheeks and didn't care. She'd done it. She'd come back. Backstage, Tae-rin was waiting. "That was," he started. "I know." He pulled her close, held her tight. "I love you," he said. Just like that. Simple. True. Adwo's breath caught. "What?" "I love you. I should have said it sooner, but I'm saying it now. I love you, Adwas Nyamekye. Your music, your stubbornness, your courage, all of it. I love you too," she said. Because she did. Despite the chaos, despite the complications, despite everything. "Good," he said, "because I have a question." "Already? Your mother was right?" "She usually is." "It's annoying." He took a breath. "I know we agreed to go slow. I know this is fast. But I also know what I want. And what I want is you. Forever. Will you marry me?" Adwoa laughed, cried, pulled him closer. "You're supposed to have a ring for this," she said. "I do, but I can't exactly show it to you." "Then describe it." "Simple, gold, with a single stone, your birthstone, sapphire." "How did you know my birthstone?" "I asked Mrs. Kim." "You asked my neighbor?" "I asked everyone who might know. I wanted it to be perfect." Adwo reached up, found his face, traced his features the way she had that night in her apartment. "It doesn't have to be perfect," she said. "It just has to be ours." "Is that a yes?" "That's a yes." He kissed her, soft, sweet, full of promise. When they pulled apart, she was smiling. "So, what happens now?" she asked. "Now we figure it out together. No more decisions without asking. No more grand gestures without permission. Just us, building something new." "I like the sound of that." "Me too." They stayed backstage for a while, holding each other, planning their future in whispers and promises. Finally, Yuna knocked. "There are about 100 reporters waiting to talk to you both," she said. "Also, your mother is crying, Tae-rin. Happy crying, I think. It's hard to tell." Tae-rin laughed. "We should probably go face them." "Together?" Adebo asked. "Always together." They walked out hand in hand, ready for whatever came next, because they'd already survived the hardest part. They'd found each other in the chaos, chosen each other despite the complications, built something real in the middle of everything trying to tear them apart. The rest would be easy. Or at least, they'd face it together. And that was enough. 6 months later, they got married in a small ceremony. Half Korean traditions, half Ghanaian. Adwoa's family flew in from Accra. Mrs. Ju helped plan everything. Yuna was maid of honor and cried through the entire ceremony. Adwoa played piano at her own wedding, a piece she'd composed herself, about finding home in unexpected places. Tae-rin stood beside her, listening, smiling. When she finished, he leaned close and whispered, "Thank you." "For what?" "For bumping into me." She laughed, took his hand. "Best accident I ever made." And somewhere in Seoul, in a subway station where it all began, life continued. People rushing, trains arriving, moments passing. But for Adwoa and Tae-rin, that station would always be special. The place where a blind woman bumped into a dangerous man. And everything changed. 1 year later, Adwoa opened her own music school, funded by her performance fees, not Tae-rin's money. He'd learned to let her build things herself. Though he did buy the building, she allowed it, because some compromises were worth making. Her students came from everywhere. Rich families, poor families, kids who could see, kids who couldn't. She treated them all the same. And every night, after the last student left, Tae-rin would come sit in the hallway and listen to her practice. Just like he had for years, before she knew him, before they found each other. Some things didn't need to change. "You're still listening," she said one night, walking out to find him there. "Always. It's been over a year. Don't you get bored?" "Never. You play differently now." "How?" "Happier, like you're not playing for anyone but yourself." "Maybe I am." He stood, pulled her close. "Good," he said. "That's how it should be." They went home together, to the apartment they'd chosen together, the life they'd built together. It wasn't perfect. They still fought sometimes, still struggled with his family expectations and her fierce independence. But they always came back to each other, always talked it through, always chose each other again. And on quiet nights, when Seoul was sleeping and the world was still, Adwoa would play. And Tae-rin would listen, just like he had 643 times before finding her, and every time after, because some things are worth waiting for. Some people are worth fighting for. And some love stories start with a collision and end with forever. This is their story. The blind African lady who bumped into the mafia boss, and the man who whispered one word that changed everything. Her. If this story touched your heart, do me a favor. Share it with someone who needs to hear it. Subscribe if you haven't already. And remember that sometimes the best things in life come from the most unexpected collisions. Thank you for reading. Until next time.